Say this. It tells me that next season, it's on.
Bart and Hahn, weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN Plus. This is ESPN Radio.
Arthur Smith, head coach, Atlanta Falcons, here with us.
The fact that they pay me to do this job, I'm lucky as hell. I live in my dream, and I get to coach football in the NFL for a living.
Mario Andretti, everybody.
Formula One is at a good place right now. Something has exploded here. The fan base is speaking loud and clear.
The head coach, Bill Self.
Winning it is fabulous, an unbelievable feeling. One thing I will say, the wins never feel as good as the losses feel bad.
Lane Johnson, Philadelphia Eagles.
The past few years, we've been starting off very slow, 2-5, 3-6. My goal is to start off hot and keep going.
Philadelphia 76ers guard Danny Green. I got to talk trash about James Harden now.
I appreciate y'all, man. Don't talk too much trash about my teammate, bro.
Mike Vrabel returns. Does Tom Brady still owe you an Escalade? I think he stole your MVP in the Super Bowl against the Eagles.
Yeah, it's okay. He made up for it with all those Ohio State, Michigan bets.
The biggest names in sports come here. It all starts with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max at 6 Eastern and continues all day. This is ESPN Radio.
Six and a half games up on the Toronto Blue Jays, and that's after the Yankees got a 3-0 win over the Tigers in a game in which Aaron Judge went deep again.
That's driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. A leadoff home run. Aaron Judge, number 21 in the Yankees lead, 1-0.
Yes Network with the call. Yankees 3, Tigers nothing. Yankees pitching has been a story as well as the long ball. Yankees have allowed 6 hits in the last 3 games, fewest in a 3-game span in franchise history. And we're talking about a franchise that's been around for a minute. Yankees have allowed 1 or fewer runs in 5 straight games. That ties the second longest streak by the Yankees in the live ball era since 1920. It's New York's 8th shutout win of the season. But on the flip side, we're talking about the bats. Aaron Judge, 1 for 3 in that game. 21st home run in the season, most in Major League Baseball. Buster Olney and Carl Ravitch discussed Aaron Judge's torrid home run pace on the Baseball Tonight podcast.
Speaking of trajectory, at his current trajectory, Aaron Judge is on track to hit 60 homers exactly, Carl. He's got 19. I believe that by the end of the year, assuming that Judge stays healthy, this is going to become a big story because I still think that number 60 holds a lot of meaning for a lot of baseball fans. The last guy to hit 60 home runs in a season, actually 2, in 2001. Barry Bonds hit 73. Sammy Sosa hit 64. Aaron Judge has a chance to hit 60. Do you think he gets there?
Well, the good news for him, it's not as if you can necessarily pitch around him because the lineup is so good. I think the yellow flag in the room is still his injury history. We've seen Stanton go down. I root for every player to stay on the field for as many games as they can. But look, there is a history that you are still trying now to diffuse. And yes, if he is able to play 155 to 160 games, sure, I think it's possible. But I would throw that yellow caution flag up in that hasn't happened. And even guys who appeared like, ooh, is he going to be healthy this whole year, have taken some time off on the injured list. I hope it doesn't happen. I agree with you, especially given the organization. 60 is a critical number. And I also nominate Buster as the Aaron Judge quasi-agent because you've been on this since the whole thing didn't go well with regards to an extension. And, you've been playing the harp of, my God, he bet on himself and look what's happening. And it's a different bet on himself. It wasn't as if he was getting nothing. It's just a question of, is he getting more than the 100 millions that he was already offered? But yeah, he's very capable of doing it if he stays on the field, and Buster should get a piece of the pie.
Aaron Judge hit his 21st home run for the Yankees in a 3-0 win over the Tigers. Elsewhere, Major League Baseball, Game 1 of a doubleheader between the Cubs and the Cardinals, and it was Chi-Town getting it done in Game 1.
Swing and a drive to left. Adios. Home run. Schwindel, a no-doubter to the back row of the left field bleachers. 2-0 Cubs.
Frank Sweet Swinging Schwindel for the Cubs in a 6-1 win over the Cardinals. Ian Happ, 5-game hit streak, tied for the longest such streak this season for him, in his 7th multi-run batted in game of the season. After the game, our post-game extra crew, Sean Kelly, Tim Kirchin, they were on the call. You heard their highlight. They broke it down after.
Thank you very much. Day game, first of 2 at Wrigley Field on this Saturday. And this first goes to the Cubs. They beat the Cardinals this afternoon 6-1. Matt Swarmer made the start for the Cubs, and he looked awfully good in turning away St. Louis in the 3rd game of the series.
Second Major League start. We heard all about the slider. We saw it a lot today, but we also saw a well-located 92-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. That combination really stopped the team. The Cardinals had scored 14 runs yesterday.
And the Cubs and their starter got run support today from those Cubby bats.
Right. Christopher Morel is a really interesting young player. I was so impressed watching him play center field today, the way he attacks early in the count. They put some people in motion today. They got some hits. They hit a fly ball to score a run. They didn't have to hit the ball out of the ballpark, although Frank Schwindel did and had 3 RBIs today.
He almost sent it on to Waveland Avenue. Paul Goldschmidt's hitting streak for the Cardinals ends at 25 games here this afternoon.
Right. His career high is 26 games, so that will stay. But he did get a walk today, so he's reached base in 40 consecutive games. The National League Player of the Month in May was spectacular, but today the Cubs slowed him down.
And the Cubs now have an advantage in what is now a 5-game series between St. Louis and Chicago. The final again at Wrigley, 6-1. Cubs on top of the Cardinals. For Tim Kirchin, I'm Sean Kelly, right here on your home for the Saturday Game of the Week, Sunday Night Baseball, and every game of the postseason. Major League Baseball on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Let's go back to the studio.
Thanks. And in Game 2 of the doubleheader, it was the Cardinals getting revenge on the Cubs, winning it 7-4 in 10 innings through the rain. So the team split the doubleheader with Game 3 of the series. Coming up, tune in to an NL Central battle. Tonight as the Cubs host the Cardinals. Coverage of Sunday Night Baseball begins at 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, and then the ESPN app at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern on ESPN. This is SportsCenter All Night. Chris Lewis with you here on ESPN Radio. Trivia question. Who was the last wide receiver to crack 1,000 yards in the regular season for the Philadelphia Eagles? All right, I gave you a second to think about it. Jeremy Maclin. Remember him? He had a 1,300-yard receiving season back in 2014. It's probably why the squad traded for star receiver A.J. Brown for the Tennessee Titans for the 18th and 101st overall picks in this April's draft, and then signed him to a $100 million contract. Brown had 63 catches, 869 yards, 5 touchdowns in 13 games last year, but he did surpass the 1,000-yard receiving mark in each of his first 2 seasons. A.J. Brown spoke with ESPN's Sal Paolantonio on NFL Live.
What do you think of Philly so far? It's been amazing. You know, this is a passionate city. They're very excited. I'm excited too. Every time I go out, they show me love, and I'm just